Hi everyone, welcome to basicgrey.com and another digital layout class. This class uses elements and papers from the Skate Shop Starter Kit, and we're just going to jump right in here. This is a page with pictures of my nephew Adam. The blues and greens of the Skate Shop collection are perfect for little boy pages, but you can adapt them to just about anything. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this page so it's out of the way, and I'll start a new document by going to File, New Blank File. Our file needs to be 12 by 12 inches, so I'll just change the dimensions. It needs to be RGB with a resolution of 300, so hit OK. Alright, there are a couple of things you need to make sure that you have selected or set up in order to work through this page pretty quickly. The first thing you need to do is, with your Move tool selected, make sure you have Auto Select Layer. And also from the View menu, go to Rulers. Okay, I think I forgot to tell you, but I'm in Photoshop Elements 8. If you're in earlier versions of Photoshop Elements, you might not have the ruler feature, but it's nothing that you're going to miss too terribly. Okay, so I'm going to start out by taking the blue pattern paper that's open in my project bin, and I'll click and drag that into my document, and then I will lock it down here in the Layers palette so that I don't accidentally select it later and move it around. Okay, now we're going to draw this white area in the background. Coming down to the Shape tool and selecting Rounded Rectangle tool. And you need to make sure your radius is at 100 or larger. The default is 10 pixels, but it's a little bit too tiny to really show up on a page this large. So 100 pixels is just about perfect. I'll click and drag to draw the shape. And now we need to create the white pattern paper that's going to fill this shape. The way to do that is to come to the blue paper here, and I'm going to recolor it, but in order to make it so I don't accidentally save over the original paper, I'm going to go ahead and do a Save As right now. I'm going to save this as, and I'm just going to put a hyphen and then let's do white. I've already done this before, so I'll just replace it. I'm going to take the quality to 12 so it's the largest possible. And okay, it saves. Go to Enhance, Adjust Color, Remove Color, and then Enhance, Adjust Color, Adjust Lighting, Brightness, Contrast. I'm going to take the brightness up quite a bit until it's kind of a light gray, and the contrast up as well. Hit OK, and then I will save. Alright, I'm going to minimize that. Okay, coming back to our original document, with the Move tool selected, I have the blue box we just drew selected, and I'm going to take the white paper that we just created from the project bin and place it over top. Next I'm going to hit Command G, and that just takes that paper and clips it down into the shape below it. Alright, the next thing we need to do is draw in these shapes that go across the kind of the top area of the page. I'll zoom it over here so you can see it. These pattern papers that are in the back right here. Okay, the way we do that is the same way we did the white area. Come down, select my Rounded Rectangle tool. And before I draw, I'm going to take down some guides right here. And this is the reason why you need your rulers. I'm going to bring the guide down right there. And about right there. Okay, now when I draw my rounded rectangles, it's going to snap to the guides. And it just makes it a little bit easier to draw the shapes and make sure they all line up. Okay, so I've got my three shapes. I'm going to select the Move tool, selecting the very first shape, and I need to drag in the paisley pattern. So I'll click and drag. I'll do the same command, which is Command G, or if you're on a PC, it's Control G. Then I'll select the next shape, which is going to be filled with the stripe paper. So I'll click and drag the stripe paper up. This time I'm going to rotate the paper before I put it in the shape, so I'll rotate that. Click on the green check mark, and then Command G or Control G if you're on a PC. Alright, we're going to select the next shape, and that one's going to be filled with the frog pattern, so I'll click and drag the frog up here, and hit Command G. The great part about using these clipping masks in a shape for the paper is that you can move the paper around after you've already clipped it. So I'm going to move this around until the frog is kind of right side up. Okay. All right, the next thing we need to do is draw the teal tag that's in the back. So I'm going to go to my shape tool and change it to just the regular rectangle tool. And I'm going to draw my rectangle shape. About like that. Looks like it's behind a couple layers, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that all the way to the top. And then I'm going to have to reopen that blue file since we edited it earlier. Okay, got the teal color open, so I'll go ahead and click and drag and do the same Command G to clip that into the shape. Okay, now we're going to start working with our photos. Or actually, before we do that, we're going to put in this little grunge border. So I'm going to click and drag the grunge border up here, selecting the Move tool. And it's going to go just kind of underneath right here. And then holding down the Alt key so it duplicates, I'm going to drag it up here for another grunge border. I'll take both of these layers and I'm going to drag them below those shapes. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're going to be dealing with the photos. I have my photo frame here. I'm going to come to the top so I drag it on correctly. I'm going to drag that on here. It's going to go about right here. And then I have all 4 photos. Okay, I'm going to click and drag these photos in to the area I want them. I'm going to go ahead and put it beneath the photo frame and zoom in a little bit so I can make sure I'm getting them in there. I'm using my arrow keys to kind of nudge them in place. Okay, and take another one over. These photos are cropped to 1.7 inches by 1.7 inches, by the way. Okay, click and drag that one in. Okay, now with the photos in the frame, I'm going to select the frame and all 4 photos and I'm going to lock them together so that when I move them or if I ever touch them, they'll always move together. Okay. Alright, now we need to add our journaling and then a little date tag down here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the type tool and click and drag to get our type area. We'll zoom in and I'm going to start typing my journaling. And I already have some over here, so I'm going to go ahead and copy it. Okay, looks like the shape is a little bit too large, so I'm going to bring that in. Perfect. All right, and then I can move my journaling down a little bit. Okay, now that I have my journaling and the tag ready, I can go ahead and select all 3 layers, the shape, the paper, and the text. Actually, I don't even need the paper, I just need the shape and the text. And I'm going to rotate it. And hit OK, hit the green arrow. Alright, now I'm going to add this border. And it comes in vertical, so I'm going to rotate it by holding the Shift key down and clicking and dragging so that it goes horizontal. I'll hit the green arrow, or the green check, and move it down right here. Perfect.